Welcome back, everybody. It's the Super Stock Bros. Today we got the king of bets, betting sports. The DraftKings. That's the stock we're talking about today. It's a good one. So subscribe, like, share. Remember, we're providing you some good info today. So let's get this show started. Okay, so DraftKings. Ace, you want to tell us about the potential revenue growth that we're expecting to see from DraftKings? Is it a buy? What's going on with this company?
Yes. Okay. So DraftKings, definitely huge revenue potential. We've already seen them increase their revenue by something staggering, like already 100% within this last year for just one quarter. Now, that's why the stock blew up, but I say there's a lot more in store. I'll tell you why. So, a couple numbers here for you. At the end of September 30th, 2020, they made 133 million one quarter. So before they were making about 50 million to 40 million a quarter. So you can already tell that people are catching on. It's already becoming explosive. It's reaching escape velocity here.
Really, really,
Now,
really. So what are you saying? Are we saying that
stocks only go up?
that's right. That's right. Yeah, this one is definitely poised to go up. We're talking about 8 to 10x possibility, especially because of other things we're going to talk about, like regulation and stuff being loosened up.
Okay, let's jump into it. What kind of facts you got for us?
All right. So first things first, let me go ahead and share my screen here. All right. So the market right now, and actually there's a few things to mention here. DraftKings is not just sports betting. They've entered the casino realm. They've entered bingo. They've entered basically into lotteries here and game machines. They have all of these things on their app. So sports betting, which they're known for, fantasy sports competitions, that's a big part of it, but only a small portion of what they're capable of. And actually, and we'll talk about this later, but they now have a Sportsbook app, which is as long as regulations go through in other states, is going to pick up a huge portion of this revenue of 16%. So the market size that we're talking about total is 456 billion, and they're targeting at least 70 billion of that, 16% for sports betting. So they're trying to achieve, a low number. They're trying to achieve the 70 billion mark. And that's not even close to what's possible, which is the 456 billion.
Okay. That's some staggering numbers you got there. So how recent is this deck that you're sharing?
So this one, good question. It's March 2020. And these numbers are probably only going up because more people, they have a lot more money from staying in all the time. And quite honestly, people are discovering, people rediscovered poker. They rediscovered sports betting over this time. And honestly, I think this is just going to keep growing, especially in Canada where, legalization and stuff is coming in, which you'll discuss later. But.
Right. And what about this number 2, the Sportsbook app? What's that all about?
Good question. So let me just describe a little bit of what's happening here. And from someone who has personal experience with this, DraftKings is known for their fantasy betting. So, you pick a whole team, say the NFL or something, you pick a whole team, you pick a quarterback, you pick your wide receivers and everything like that. And then you put it up against a whole list of players, a whole list of other people. So you have like 1,000 people in one competition. You could win up to like $100,000 if you have all of the best players in your lineup. Okay. And that could mean like some player gets lucky and they get like a few touchdowns in one game when they were expecting to score none. That's when you would win a competition like that, for example. But Sportsbook app, which is what they're coming up with, in most of the states right now, it's not really legal in a lot of states because there's like a lot of regulations around online betting and mobile betting. So all of these things which are being discussed are loosening up. And now what you can do in Sportsbook app, which is what I want to do, I love these kind of bets. They're called single event bets and parlay bets. So what you do is basically you bet on the winner of a game. So like the Toronto Raptors wins a game by 5 points, right? I want to bet on something like that. You currently can't do that in the DraftKings app in a lot of regions. Okay, so now this is going to be a huge thing. This is going to attract people even like me. And like, I'm not even a US citizen. So like, I would love to do something like that. And that's
Right.
going to be huge for them.
DraftKings is a pretty popular app with my friends and I. Like when we play fantasy sports, like we have our hockey teams and then betting which players do well that night. But that takes us to the next thing: regulation and legalization. So in the news in Canada right now, the federal justice minister David Lametti is expected to introduce legislation to legalize single event sports betting in Canada, ending decades old prohibition on gambling that experts say has funneled billions of dollars into the black market. So the proposed legislation, if passed, would allow gamblers to place a bet on outcome of a single sports like a football match or a hockey game, right? So currently bettors, like you said, are limited to parlay bets, meaning they have to place bets on more than one game and picking the winning team in each contest to see any sort of windfall. The odds of winning a parlay bet are low. So Canadians spend roughly about 500 million a year on parlay bets through lottery games like Proline. This is a big deal because you currently, as someone, you're a sports fan, but you also are a sports fan because you're betting and having fun. You're taking some of your money and you're going on Bet365, which is a UK app. Is that right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So like a lot of my bets are going towards these single events, but I can't do that on Proline and stuff like that, right? Like it's just not flexible enough for me. And not only that, like Proline has a lot of regulation behind it so that it limits the outcomes of your winnings. So for example, on Bet365, I can win something up to like $200,000. Whereas in Proline, when I actually won this competition, I only got like $40 because everyone else did the same thing. Meanwhile, I would have won 200K. So
Right.
I mean, it's such a big thing.
And the other thing here is they're saying there's about $14 billion of tax they could be making off of this. So their testimony follows the points that single event sports betting in Canada, it has a huge business estimated to excess of $10 billion annually, and conducted illegally through bookies by organized crime, and $4 billion through offshore internet sites that are not regulated by the Canadian provincial regulators. So if Canada goes ahead and legalizes it for a single event, imagine all the other states in America that go ahead and also go legalize across the country. So DraftKings, for one, will benefit greatly from this, as well as other small sports companies. But DraftKings is the king of their realm right now, I believe, because of their popularity and their partnerships with I believe the NFL, right? I think they've made a couple of partnerships this year.
Yep. The big one for them was the NFL. Literally, if you watch any of the NFL games, if you were a football fan, you saw constant commercials about DraftKings because they signed in a partnership. This was such a huge thing for them. They're a brand name now. They're a household brand name. So it's such a big thing that, I tried to register for DraftKings, and just anecdotal thing here. Like I actually placed some fantasy bets. Fantasy is fun. Not really my thing though, because you're competing with very, very smart people. Whereas sports betting on like something like Bet365, where you can do those single event bets, which I was hoping to do on DraftKings, you're betting against the computer. And honestly, these computers are obviously very smart. They have AI intelligence.
We are definitely not recommending you start betting. It's just an avenue to have fun. We don't recommend the stock. We don't recommend betting because...
And it's gone.
Yeah, you can expect to lose. You can expect to lose it, or in the end, you're playing yourself, which you don't want to be victim to your own. You don't want to develop a bad habit here. So that's just a little disclaimer that we're giving you right now. But if you're investing in DraftKings, we think it's a good growth stock for the long term. We don't know. Personally, I don't know when it's going to go up, Ace, but you don't want to get caught in a situation here. But we do see that legalization, like you said, across the states, and Canada is tabling a bill right now, so it all looks very interesting.
And actually, if you allow me here, let me just show one more map of the United States related to the regulation. As you can see, we're talking about the Sportsbook app here. It's only been regulated in a few states. Okay, so active regulation, active mobile legislation. And this trend is becoming more free, basically. So they're pushing the legislation in the right direction, and soon enough, this entire map is going to be taken over by DraftKings. And guess what? When that happens, you're gonna achieve that $70 billion of total addressable market very quickly, because you're a household name now and people are going to go to you. I'm certainly going to do that, but we'll see what other people do. That's for sure.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Well, Stock Bros, there you have it. That's another recommendation from the Super Stock Bros. If you got any recommendations, leave them in the chat. Like this video, share with your friends. Help us get the message out. This is a good channel. We want other people to come on as well. So look for that in the future. Peace out.